I'm Kell Brook and you're watching SKTV. Keep tuned in. Keep tuned in.
He's a former WBO and WBA Intercontinental welterweight champion and the former IBF welterweight champion of the world from the Steel City of Sheffield. He is the Special One Kell Brook.
Take a seat. Okay, ladies and gents, best of all during the interview, if you could. Kell, good evening.
Good evening.
How's your pictures been? Have you had pictures of everyone?
It's been very long.
Very long.
My mouth's hurting with smiling. Constantly. All night.
It's alright, you look like Domingo by the time you finished all the smiling. Kell, I've got to ask you first off, last two fights have been big ones, slightly brutal, finished quite nastily. How's the eyes and how are you?
The eyes are very good. I'm so. Just, I think tonight we're going to realise exactly what I'm going to be doing with my future in boxing. But my eyes now are perfect. I could get in ring tomorrow and did. I'm like Terminator now. I've got metal in both eyes, so I'm ready to go.
Great to hear. Okay, I want to take you right back to the start. You were born Sheffield 1986 in the famous Steel City. It's a city that's well known for its boxing, but what was it like growing up in Sheffield back in the 80s and 90s?
They were good. I went to Shirecliff School as a kid. It's the normal story we every young fighter, probably, naughty kid at school, getting kicked out, excluded, and it started with me. My dad actually took me down to the gym because I used to love watching Bruce Lee, Van Damme and stuff like that. Our hyperactive ADHD, I think they call it now. I was non-stop, constantly, always on the move, and my dad took me down to the famous Winkerbank gym. And as soon as I walked in, I seen Johnny Nelson, Pelly Reid, Junior Witter, Ryan Rose, and this little Arab guy about 5'3" with big ears, called him Prince Nassim. He was down there, and as soon as I walked in, I knew it was a place for me. I loved it, and I was getting better results from school. It actually disciplined me. And being around, Brendan Ingle, an old wise Brendan, Irishman, he used to just talk to me for hours, and you're always, you learn off your elders, and we are him, and we are the Winkerbank gym. I would have gone off the wrong road and done the wrong thing, so boxing and that Winkerbank gym and Brendan actually saved my life and made me focus on something what we're good at.
Absolutely, of course we've got Dominic Ingle in this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Dominic Ingle. You mentioned, Kell, a few of the names there at the time, and of course Nassim was one of the main ones, wasn't he? And Johnny Nelson's must have been absolutely buzzing in there then.
We're buzzing, walking into the gym, now that he's crazy music on. His crazy music on. I was a 9-year-old when I walked in, and I remember Brendan saying, "Turn that down, turn it down." To the Nas fella, "Turn it down," and he used to have his music, real loud in the gym, and me and many kids in the gym, used to bring sky cameras down to run moving machines, and he was the world champion at 21-20, so he was the main man in boxing, and I think in Sheffield I don't think anyone can touch him for how charismatic and how he was as a fighter.
There you go, you learn something new every day. I didn't know Brendan Ingle was Welsh, but there you go.
trying.
Any other sports, Kel? Was it always boxing for you, or did you try your hand at anything else?
No, I think, obviously as football and everything else, but my main, the main sport for me was boxing. I'm really good at it, and I focused in and started getting. I actually lost my first couple of fights in amateurs, won my third, lost my fourth, and then I never lost again. Really, I carried on winning, and obviously as you're getting older, you're starting to wanting to win. You want to win the schoolboys, you want to win the ABAs, you want to, and you're hearing people in the gym like, Johnny Nelson and Ryan Rose and stuff saying, this guy's going to be, he's going to be a champion if he carries on. And you get that hunger, you get the eye of the tiger, and obviously I excelled and did all the things he said.
Can you remember when it was that you first started thinking about winning a world title? When it was that you first sort of thought, this is it, I'm going to win the world title?
It was from a very young age. I can't remember the age actually. I actually knew that I was going to be world champion. We're going to probably get onto it later on with the Devil Alexanders pulling out, and many setbacks in my career. I still knew that I would be a champion, world champion one day. And I've found out as I've got older, there's a thing called the secret, and if you attract something, it happens. I've always known that one day, no matter what, I would become world champion.
You would be. You made your debut, of course, back in 2004 at the Don Valley Stadium. It's no longer there. It's been pulled down now against the journeyman Peter Buckley. And in 4 months, you built a record of 5-0 very, very quickly. Very different back then to now, though. Back then, I don't know how much people know about the world of boxing, but you had to sell tickets. You'll have had to try and get people down to the fight just so you got paid. What was it like? How did you sort of manage that around the training and the boxing and the focus and everything else?
It's very hard. People forget. They just see me on the television now thinking, they just see me on that one night. They don't know the training, what's gone into it, being away from my family, being on training camp, getting a little bit of food, rabbit food as they say, being ratty, arguing with my training partners and everything else. I don't see what goes on before getting in there and seeing you on the night. But like you just said, I had to sell my own tickets. Sometimes I'd be first on, I'd be a floater on a show, the last on when everybody goes. Nobody sees the years and the time, what goes into it. You don't just wake up one day and be world champion. These many years of going through the like they said, being the hard times in boxing.
Would you say it's that makes you what you are today, though?
It does. I think you just got obviously, it's called being filtered through. I think only a small amount of fighters get to be world champion, because you've got to go through all that. You've got to go through, if you're not prepared for a fight, you could get caught with a clean shot and it'd be over. Be many setbacks, and you've got to have it all. You've got to be able to, walk the walk and talk the talk and walk the walk. You've got to be able to do it all.
Definitely. Now, it's fair to say your career has had its fair share of controversies going through it, and we fast forward 4 years to 2008. At this point, you're 16-0, still undefeated, and you work your way to a British title shot. The British champion at the time, Kevin McIntyre from Scotland, unfortunately got injured. The Board of Control decided to vacate the title. You fought and beat the Welshman Barry Jones to win that Lonsdale belt, much to the upset of our Scottish friends and Kevin McIntyre in particular. But how did it feel to get hold of that Lonsdale belt? Because that is one of the most prized possessions in boxing, isn't it?
It felt great. The young 21-year-old to be at Bethnal Green and win the British title. Where I think every fighter wants to become British champion. I've got world title belts, many belts, and I still look at the British Lonsdale belt, and it's still my favourite belt. It's a beautiful looking belt. Obviously winning that, we're fantastic, but like I said, me and Dominic and a few others went over to Scotland to fight Kevin McIntyre. I ended up knocking him out in the first round. There were about 5 of us, and I jumped on the ring apron, and if you see John Ingle trying to pull me down, and he said after he went, we're going to get fucking killed here. Because I'm telling you now, there were hundreds of these, and there were only 5 of us, and quickly I looked around and thought, I better calm down.
For anyone that hasn't seen that fight, it will be on YouTube. Kell Brook against Kevin McIntyre. Kevin was forced to vacate the title. Controversially, he wasn't happy about it. Kell then went up to Kevin's, I think it was in his back garden, wasn't it, in Glasgow?
It was.
And boxed him. He put him down 3 times in the first round, knocked him out. And yeah, Kell started to celebrate, and John Ingle very quickly stopped you, didn't he?
Very quickly.
Okay, you won the Lonsdale belt outright. Okay, so you defended it 3 times, which is a massive thing. You boxed then on the undercard of Amir Khan against Andreas Kotelnik. We will come back to Mr. Khan a little bit later on. But despite winning the Lonsdale belt outright, you still said in the media that you thought you were the best welterweight in Britain, but until you beat Michael Jennings, you weren't sure. Have you always been looking forward, Kell?
I've always been looking forward. Michael Jennings at the time, in the welterweight division, he was the guy what had been British champion. You know, he got his stripes, he boxed Miguel Cotto. You know, we're a seasoned welterweight, and even though we're British champion, without beating him, I said, you know, I don't class myself in Britain as the best British champion. So I went and beat Michael Jennings. I was a bit cautious in the fight, but I ended up stopping him, and the show goes on.
After what you'd said about you don't consider yourself the best until you've beaten Michael Jennings, how important was that for you to win that fight? Because you come out and made a statement there, haven't you?
Yeah, we're very important. Every single fight's important. You know, every single fight's important. But I was a bit nervous in that fight. You know, I thought I'm fighting a guy who's seasoned, he knows his way around the ring and everything else. But I went out there. You know, I ended up catching him with a good few shots, and when I see a little wobble here and there, I'm like a lion. I jump on you and make sure I get the job done, and I finish the job. And then after that, you know, I'd say I was the best. You know, the best definitely in Britain, British welterweight around.
Absolutely. Now, 2009, you were awarded the Young Boxer of the Year award, which I think tomorrow night will be presented to a local guy from around here, Sam Eggington. Who's just won it, but it's been won by the likes of Ken Buchanan, Barry McGuigan, Nigel Benn, Prince Nazim Hamid, Joe Calzaghe, Amir Khan. How important was it to you to win awards like that throughout your career?
It's very good, obviously. There's Ryan Rose, you know, I think the latest one from our gym's Barry Award, Kid Gallard. You know, and I think if you look down the list, you see like, you know, the Currys, and you see like McGuigan. You see these young fighters back then what had won that, and they've gone on to world honours and done fantastic in world boxing. So I think once you get that award, I think you're on the right path to becoming great. Absolutely.
Now, 2011 was a big year in your career. You moved from Frank Warren to Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing. Just for the people that don't really understand the mechanics of boxing and how it works, what difference was that to your career moving over to Matchroom?
You know, I just think that Matchroom Eddie Hearn is a lot better promoter than Frank Warren. You know, Frank Warren was, everybody gets the chance. Frank Warren was the man. He had all the fighters before me, you know, and but Eddie Hearn took me on, and he made me, I was boxing in Sheffield. It was growing my fan base, and before I knew it, you know, wherever I went, people recognised me. So I think of promoting and making a fighter build and grow. You know, he was the perfect promoter for me at the time.
He was, and of course, I think the first fight he made for you in 2012 was against Carson Jones. Things got slightly controversial again. That was a fight that you won on points, but it split opinion, didn't it? Some people thought Carson Jones won that. Notice I'm keeping a safe distance from Kell when I say that, by the way. Some people thought Carson Jones won that fight. Obviously, you're pretty sure you won it, but how did you take the controversy in the victory?
He never won that fight, by the way. You know, I learned a lot about myself in that fight. The size of me today, I know a lot of people, I look a bit like Naz these days. You know? But you know, I'm massive for the weight, and I've been making the weight for a long time, doing my own diet, trying, you know, cutting corners. I boxed Matthew Watton, Sheffield Arena, you know, and it was a sellout crowd. I just thought it was a walk in the park, and I thought it'd be the same again with Carson Jones, but it was a gypsy's warning. You know, I found a lot about myself in that fight, and you know, it was a very tough fight. The diet were wrong, you know, cutting corners in training and stuff like that. So, you know, once I got through that fight, and I did win with the skin of my teeth. You know, I brought a nutrition on board, strength and conditioner, went to training camps, and you know, in the rematch, he got dealt with. And since that, you know, I've done it in style since then.
Absolutely. Now, that fight, of course, led you on to a world title shot. Should have been against Devon Alexander. You got injured, the fight got postponed. He got injured, the fight got postponed. You got injured again, and unfortunately the fight fell through. Did you ever at that point think that your world title chance might have slipped away slightly?
No, like I said, I always thought that I was still going to be world champion, but I think in them training camps, a bit of my soul left my body, because I think that was the best physical condition I'd been in. You know, if you've seen pictures in that, I were in tremendous, I were beating me times by miles, and when he pulled out and I would have stood there with no fight, you know, spent a fortune on training camps, sparring partners, stuff like that, a bit of your soul leaves you. So I can get my head around why Tyson Fury with David Day and a lot of pull-outs and a lot of, when you get to a high level, it's not just you don't go down at the gym, you get the best sparring, you know, you travel and diet and everything else. So a bit of my soul left in the Devon Alexander fight, but I think I did gradually did get it back, definitely to Karen Hara did, but I felt heartbroken after the 3 pull-outs, but you know, I wiped myself down every time, and as you know, I went out and what I did to Port when I went out to California. Absolutely.
You've already touched on it, the Alexander fight fell through, and of course you got the rematch with Carson Jones that everyone was calling for, and I'll try and redeem myself now, ladies and gentlemen. You absolutely splattered the guy in 8 rounds. How important was that to you, just to shut a few people up?
No, I think he's my bogeyman. I always say he's my bogeyman, Carson Jones, and it was nice to get it out of the way, you know, and close the book on that one. And obviously, I stopped him mid round, you know, and then obviously getting rid of him, I can continue. He was like he were my bogeyman so far in my career at that point.
He certainly was, but he did a job on him. And then we go forward to 16th of August 2014, a date that I'm sure is etched in your memory, in the StubHub Centre, Carson, California, against Showtime Sean Porter. It's been said for a long time that any British boxer going to America has to knock them out to get a draw. You comprehensively schooled Sean Porter. You won by majority decision, 114, 114, 116, 112, 117, 111 to take the IBF Welterweight Championship of the world. If people haven't yet been over to the merchandise stalls, there's a picture over there of when that announcement was made, and if there's any left, there shouldn't be, because it's an absolute beauty. We can see it on your face in the picture, Kel, but give us an idea of how it felt. Come on.
I can't put into words how it felt, to be honest with you. I can't put into words, you know, when they announced me as and the new. You know, I fell to the floor, you know, with that powerful them words. You know, just the whole family that week in California. Didn't go to sleep for a few days. Like I said, thinking, is it a dream? If I go to sleep and wake up and it's not happened, I'd be devastated. So I try not to go to sleep. Best moment in my life, you know, by my kids. Best moment in my life by a country mile.
For me, I'm sure plenty in the audience will agree, it was the finest overseas performance by a British boxer, certainly in my lifetime. Perhaps Tyson Fury over in Germany against Klitschko rivals it. I think you probably agree with that one, but it's certainly right up there. But then you came back down to earth, the real bump. A week, 2 weeks later, on holiday in Tenerife, and you suffered a horrific machete attack, which left you not only potentially losing your leg, but losing your life as well. Can you give us any kind of insight into what happened over there?
Like I say, what people actually think in their mind is unbelievable. Winning that world title and then being away on holiday with me, you know, with missus and my kids. You know, I'm thinking that you were good people what supporting you, and next minute, you know, it's things like this can happen, getting slashed in the leg. You know, I remember just laying, you know, and in the hospital thinking, I'm a world champion, you know, a few weeks ago, and now I'm in hospital, am I going to walk again or anything like this? So, you know, it's been a roller coaster in my career. I think after my career's over, I think we need to start, you know, making a book. I think that's the next thing to do, but devastated, what can I say?
Incredibly, everyone saw those injuries, and it was horrific. I used the word horrific, and I stand by that, because it was awful. Incredibly, 6 months later, you're back in the ring, in Sheffield. Most boxers at that point would say, do you know what, I'll take a voluntary defence, I'll take someone easy. Not Kell Brook, he takes on the mandatory challenger, the guy that he's got to face in Jojo Dan. It must have been crucial for you to get back in that ring and get back in there quickly.
You know, I think it were my homecoming from winning world title were amazing to be training. You know, seeing how my legs gonna cope with being put under stress and training so hard and sprinting and sparring. Got through all of that and went out there, Sheffield Arena, and to defend in my own city were unbelievable. You know, the feeling were unbelievable. It was unbelievable to be back. You know, not just walking, boxing again, defending my world title, still world champion against me mandatory opposition.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. That then of course was followed up with successful defences against local boxer here, Frankie Gavin from Birmingham, your mandatory challenger Kevin Bizier, and then again controversy really as negotiations with the likes of Danny Garcia, Jesse Vargas both fell through. And then one of the most weird things to happen in the world of boxing happened. As everybody thought Gennady Golovkin was going to fight Chris Eubank Jr. Chris Eubank Jr. lost his pen. And who should appear but a man 2 weights down by the name of Kell Brook. Kell, how on earth did it come to pass that you signed to fight Gennady Golovkin, the most dangerous boxer in the world, 2 weights above your own?
It sounds it's amazing how that fight landed on my lap. For any fighters out there, don't listen to this, but I had a gin and tonic in my hand, and my light, you know, my phone started flashing Eddie Hearn, and it basically said, "Do you fancy fighting Golovkin?" You know, Chris Eubank out found his pen. He won't sign the contract. I thought, I went, "Hey lads, have you seen this? What do you think today? What do you think?" I went, "I'll tell you what, I'll fight him." So I said, "Let's do it, Eddie. Let's do it." Straight away, just as easy as that, and that's how fast the fight got made.
Now, I'd already heard quite well. I asked Eddie that question the week after the fight was made, and Eddie's exact words were, "He's Kell Brook. He'll fight anyone." And he was so matter of fact, he didn't really doubt that you'd fight him, but I think the rest of the world was stunned. Eddie, not at all. Now, just on to Eubank Jr., because I emceed his last fight at Wembley. You were there inside, we were chatting. Is he a potential future opponent for you, if he can find his pen?
It could be. You know, I think when I come back to boxing, I think I'm gonna be moving up a weight. I think there'd only be one fight that I'd come back down to welterweight for, and I think you know that guy, that person is. We'll get to that in a bit, but like I said, like middleweight, around them weights. You know, where the big fights are. Like I said, I've had back-to-back fights with Golovkin, Errol Spence, and your guys know that, you know, I'm up for a challenge.
You did. Now the Golovkin fight, Golovkin is brutal. You know, let's be honest. I spoke to Martin Murray about Golovkin, and he said it's not just the big shots that hit you. Every shot is a big shot, and every shot hurts. For me, you lasted a lot longer in that fight than I think most pundits predicted and most boxing fans predicted. Yeah, you got a bad injury, the eye socket went, but I think you won a lot of new fans in that fight, Cal.
I did. I think we had a game plan to go in there to obviously, you know, the naturally lighter fighter to box and move and be aware. But you know, I remember the first round I come out and I got hit and I got hurt, and straight away I thought, what the fuck have I got myself into here? I thought, here we go. You know, and the game plan went out the window. I started, anyone who knows me, you know, when I get caught in sparring or anything like that, or if anyone tries to beat me on the track or outdo me, I'm always up for a challenge. I think there's actually a challenge out there for me and Dominic to do 15 rounds next week. He's challenged me to that, and he knows I'm not fit, but I'll do it, and I'll do him. So I think the game plan went out the window with the Golovkin fight. I wanted to stand toe-to-toe, and with Golovkin, you don't want to stand toe-to-toe with that hard cunt. I'm telling you that. So, basically, I got involved in a fight what I shouldn't have been in, and I got injured in the fight. I was doing well. Took him off his feet at times. I'd him at times, but this is boxing, and I had my fun then, but that's the way it stands.
I think boxing Dom Ingle, if we just weighed his arms, you'd be going up 2 weight divisions. I don't know about anything else. You lost that fight against Golovkin, however, you were still the IBF welterweight champion of the world. So of course that was 2 weights up, so you come back down to welterweight. Once again you go after Amir Khan. Once again he's got his sponsored Nikes on and he's running for the hills as he generally does when you challenge him, Kel. So in May this year you took the hometown fight, I think your dream in Bramall Lane, the home of Sheffield United, against Errol Spence, a very special talent I think it's fair to say. It was a brutal fight, ended in the 11th round, the scorecards were close, but you got some criticism at the end of that fight, Kel, and that must have hurt.
It did, and I've had cuts in fights. My trainers, Barry, people what know me, there's no quitting in me. There's no quitting. I've had cut eyes, I've had many things happen in sparring, in fights, but with this kind of injury, it's not just like a normal injury. You go buzz-eyed for some reason, and you can't see it all, and when you're tired and and you're going back to the ropes. And I remember in the Golovkin fight, the surgeon who operated on me, he was there at the Spence fight, and I seen him ringside when I was going back to the corner, and he could see that the other eye had gone. But the sixth round it went 7, 8, 9. I still did them rounds, and I remember looking at him, and he was nodding his head to say, because one big shot in the Golovkin fight, I said that I could have been blinded. I've got 2 kids, and I'm at the stage where I can live to fight another day. I got to that stage, but I so wanted to get through that fight, but it was getting so bad in the end, not being able to see, and that's what happened.
Kel, just as a warning in your next fight, when the doctor's nodding his head like that, your eye is definitely in trouble, okay?
Yeah, when he was nodding his head, because he's a surgeon, the doctor, and he's nodding his head to say, he's frightened for my side, but I kept getting off that stool and carrying another round on,
Absolutely. Now you mentioned just a couple of moments ago, possibly moving up a weight. What's the plan?
I think we're going to be fighting at the end of the year, but after it's going to be a real push to get me in fighting fit condition and ready to fight at the end of the year. I'm looking at early next year, ready to get back out again. I'm looking for a big fight. Because the Spence fight, I took it bad. The Golovkin fight were a bad loss, but when I lost my IBF world title belt, it finally kicked in a few weeks after that. And to be honest with you, I've not been in the gym much. I've been feeling sorry for myself. I've got a lot of times on me, and you get bored. And basically, I'm at my happiest and at my best and feeling good when I'm in the gym every day, and I'm letting endorphins off training and dieting and everything else. As bad as it sounds, that's when I'm at my happiest. So, we're into a new month, and on Sunday, Monday morning, when everyone said the diet starts on a Monday, that's when you're going to see me back in the gym, back on the diet, and back being happy.
Have you heard that, Dom? Which Monday is it, says Dom Ingle?
This Monday coming.
I love as soon as you
I've still got a
said
weekend
that.
in me yet.
As soon as you said that, Kel, Dom picked his phone up straight to the calendar, and he's like, right, what date's Monday? Kel's back in the gym.
I'm I'm back in. You know, Carl from the gym is missing me. A lot, you know, young fighters are missing me, you know, missing that buzz. I'm missing having crack with lads and training hard, so I'm being in a routine. It's about being in a routine. I'm waking up when I wake up, you know, maybe taking kids to school. And basically I've got all the time in the world on my hands. It's better having a routine, going to the gym in the morning, coming back, maybe having an hour's sleep, you know, eating lunch, back training again, being in a routine. I need to be in a routine, someone telling me what to do.
Absolutely. Now just before we move on to the final question, we have, ladies and gentlemen, can you put your hands together please for Kid Galahad?
Kid Galahad, yeah, let me tell you about him.
I was just going to ask you.
No one can touch him. When he's on track, no one can beat him.
Keep that name in your head, because you've been in a room with Kid Galahad tonight, and he's going to win a world title. Kel, I've got to ask you, you mentioned coming back early next year. The perfect tune-up fight, blow a bit of ring rust off, a nice easy one for you.
A nice easy one, but I want to get to beating that Queen Carnal.
Well, that was what I was talking about.
I want to get to beating him up. We all want to see me stood over him and say, listen, I told you. Because, you know, all you have to do, a few people have asked me, is it you what's holding this fight up? It's not me. We want to make that fight happen. We're willing to, you know, to make that fight happen. We all want to see it. I want to smash him.
Okay, ladies and gents, if you'd like to get your camera phones out right now, put them onto video mode, and I will ask Kell Brook. Kell, you've got one message, because it's got to go all over social media. Okay, you're at the AppEmpireUK evening with Kell Brook. Kell Brook, you've got one message for Amir Khan. What is that message?
Kim Kardashian, get that pen, and I'm ready to fight you. This year coming this summer, I'm ready for you. Because you are getting some of these brownies. You are getting them.
Ladies and gentlemen, he will be back in a very short while to take all of your questions, but for now, a big thank you to the one and only Kell Brook! Ross, good evening Ross. What is your question for Kell?
How good is Errol Spence?
Good question. We've heard a lot about Errol Spence before I got in with him. He's done this to Mayweather Sports Club, not growing around him, sparring, all this kind of thing. But actually, I went out my depth for 5 or 6 rounds. I was beating him. He's not. For me, a national welterweight like Thurman, I think Thurman will beat him. But he is a very good, talented fighter. But I just don't think he's as good as the hype that them Americans have been building him up to be. But he is good. Don't get me wrong. He struggled with me. What with me? Because he's been with me, innit? He's in with me. He's in with me. Anyone's gonna struggle. Come on. Special one.
Okay, thank you Ross. Who's next with a question for Kell? The back of the room there, so stood up. We'll get a microphone to that gentleman. Kell, just remember, you are judging. You're judging the best question, okay? So keep that in mind. Don't forget, we have still got your auction and raffle to come. Yes, what's your name, sir?
Wardy.
Wardy, good evening, Wardy. Round of applause for Wardy, ladies and gents.
Come on, Wardy.
Wardy, what would you like to ask Kell?
So, just a little cheeky one. Do you not think you're better off having a little warm-up fight with Lamont Peterson?
Why Lamont Peterson? Why him?
Because it's a good warm-up fight at the minute, and I think he's in and out of the world scene at the minute.
He's a good fighter. He's a good fighter.
So obviously you'd knock him out then.
Yeah, knock him out. Of course I would.
And then, but after that, you'll take on Amir Khan for £5 million and retire.
I'm looking a bit more than that though. But...
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, Peterson's a good fighter. We're talking about welterweight again. Obviously we'll get back in gym. Speak to Dominic, my nutritionist Greg. See if my body can make it healthily, you know, on a long camp and make it good. If we can make it good, welterweight's going to be the division because they're the big fights. The big fights there. There's nothing really like middleweight too big unless we start making catch weight. So Peterson's a good shout, but I'd probably pick someone a bit better than him, then that's better.
You'd earn more money for knocking him out and then going to Amir Khan, though, wouldn't it? Makes sense.
You should be a promoter, you. Hey, you should be a
If I was
promoter.
going to be a promoter, I'd say you've got a few gypsies in the camp at the minute, Tyson Fury or Anthony Joshua. Bearing in mind, this is on film and you're going to go and train with Billy Joe Saunders in the morning.
Right. AJ is looking very good at the minute. And I think Tyson Fury.
I'll be honest with you, no cunt's going to knock that cunt out.
Well, it's a very good matchup, I'll leave it at that, it's a very good matchup.
Bullshit.
Kel,
Sorry.
Just on that, first of all,
Who's going to win?
Lamont Peterson, would you, someone with a history of drugs, would you think twice about boxing them, or would you get straight in?
No, he's boxed many times since that. He's boxed many times and I can't really go into depth for, the situation, what the problem was. But I think it were above board, I think it were a misunderstanding. I'm not 100%, so I don't know what I'm talking about, but he's had many fights since that and he's been, he's passed with flying colours. So.
Fair enough. I'll rephrase Wardy's question, if I may. A peak Tyson Fury against a peak Anthony Joshua.
Tyson Fury.
There we go. Okay, next question for Kel. Gentleman at the back with his arm in the air. What name is it, sir?
Vince.
Vince, good evening, Vince. What's your question for Kel?
We all know there was that hoo-ha with AJ and Amir Khan's wife. But are you the real reason behind their marriage relationship breaking up?
I didn't want no one to know. It was me, all along. It was me. I'll put my hands up, it was me. It was just middleman AJ.
I think it was Ricky Hatton that said if you caught Anthony Joshua in bed with your missus, you took him in and make his breakfast.
I think you would, wouldn't you?
It's a fair comment, isn't it? Who's next? Who else has got a question for Kel? Yes, young lady there, right in the middle. Stand up so we can see you. What name is it, madam?
Lacey.
Lacey?
Yes.
Good evening, Lacey. What's your question for Kel?
Okay, so my question is, music is my life, it's my motivation, it's something that helps me get up in the morning. So if for you, preparing for a fight, is there some sort of playlist or some sort of artist that actually gets you in the mood to go and win?
For boxing, Kel, for boxing.
Okay, well, big and small 2-pack. There's many, the list goes on. The list goes on. Mortal, like some of them, Mortal tunes. There's different ones, but we all like his music to get into his deep soul and into his move and groove. All of the lights came west.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Go on, Kel. Of all the guys in the gym, obviously we've got Kid Galahad down here as well. Who's got the worst taste in music and clothes?
Junior Witter. Junior Witter's got the worst taste in clothes you've ever seen. Sadiq or Junior Witter, and they're both from Bradford. I don't know if it's a Bradford thing or what, but I don't know. Back in time.
Junior Witter took you literally 1,000th of a second to think of that, didn't
straight
it?
away, that's the talk of the gym behind his back.
Okay. Who's next? Who's got the next question for Kel? Gentleman at the back there, if we can get the microphone to him.
Yeah, white shirt.
Yeah. Oh, the white shirt, sorry, sir.
How do you get over the adversity of injury?
Just got to rest up. You just got to wipe yourself down and follow your dreams. Follow your dreams. Know what you've got much more to give in the sport. You've got to come back because there's much more to give. And when you're in fans, when you're going to be back, when you're going to be back, you can't wait to recover. You do everything slowly, baby steps, and then you get there.
It must, when you're going through that though, Kel, I mean, you mentioned it earlier on with the Machete Attack. There must be some serious lows when you are injured.
Serious lows, it's a selfish game boxing. Many people don't know. It's not like a football team where you're there on your own. When you're training and the guys get out of the ring, it's you and your opponent. There's lonely times, there's times you're on your own, you've got to be selfish in this game. So there's dark times, but you've got to get over it, and you've got to be strong within.
Absolutely. Now, 2 more questions if we can. Question here from the rather short gentleman on the table to my right, by the name of Barry, I believe.
What's your favourite cheat meals?
Favourite cheat meal?
Meal or meals?
It's got to be meals.
What is it though?
It's an hard one. There's too many to think in there. We can go big. I get in car, I've got a McDonald's, and then I've got a KFC, then I've got a Pizza Hut. I'm non-stop Domino's, I'm back and forth until I can't move. I've got that many. I love a chocolate brown egg, ice cream, something sweet. That is fun now.
I do hope the relevance of this evening's pudding wasn't lost on anybody out there, by the way, because we did in fact have
chocolate brownies.
Chocolate brownies, of course. The next question from the audience, just down here, I believe. Can you stand up? There we are. Hello. Good evening. What's your name?
Abby.
Abby, what's your question for Kel?
Kel, you've frequently spoken about diet. My question for you today is, what does your diet consist of in preparation to a big fight?
That's a very good question. Well, it depends. It's different. It's like being pregnant. There's 3 trimesters. There's different things you need to do. The beginning of camp, what kind of food you eat, and it'll be a ketogenic diet. The ketogenic diet where it's high fats, and that taps into your fat stores in your body. And then you need a different diet for training. And then there's like carbohydrates and nice meals to perform in sparring and high intense training, runs and stuff like that. So it's like 3 trimesters. So there's different stages of the camp and the diet for me. Good question though.
Kel, just out of interest, as and when you do box Amir Khan, will he be eating purely chocolates and brownies?
He'll eat 2 or 3, and then he'll be on deck.
He'll have had enough. Okay, our final question from the audience, if we could. Yes, sir.
How many rounds Amir Khan lost with you?
Depends how cheeky you got in a press conference and then build up. But under 5 or 6 rounds, I think. Under 5 or 6, I believe.
Under 5 or 6. Okay, now we have got one more question. Ladies and gentlemen, a man I think who deserves a round of applause from AppEmpireUK. This question is from Baz himself. Let's hear it for Baz, you promotion season.
My question very simply is, all of you here today, tell me, make some noise and show us how badly we want to see Kell Brook back in that ring.
Go on, Kell! Thank you. I will be back, like Terminator said. I'll be back.
Kell, you have to pick the best question of the night. It can't be Baz, by the way, we ruined him out, and also Kid Galahad. So who do you choose for the best question of the evening?
I like the diet one, actually.
You like the diet question?
This one here, this one.
Would you like to come and receive your prize from Kell?
You win it.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of AppEmpireUK, we'd like to thank each and every one of you for coming along tonight. You have made this evening, and I'm sure you'll agree, it's been a brilliant night. Don't forget to check out Patrick Killian at the back of the room, who's just finishing off his Kell Brook portrait, and it's an absolute beauty. But the last word has to go to our guest of honour. The last word for this wonderful audience, Kell Brook.
I just want to thank you all for being here in Coventry. It's been fantastic. I've got a boost tonight, hearing all y'all cheering me on, and I will be back very, very soon.